What up, guys? This is your host, Sour Patch Parent here, and this is a new extra content I'm trying to try. Pretty much host real talks, where I pretty much just talk to the host, um, get some so you guys get to know like a more personal level, and create this more personal connection to the host and the audience for enhancing a hangout experience. For example, like, oh hey, his favorite member is blah blah blah. I can relate to that and just enhance the actual Hangouts experience. And the first host I had today is you may know him from subreddit. Translates lots of tweets. Recently translated the renowned Twitchy is our Fukei Hangout host, Upgoon.
Yes, hello. Welcome to Upgoon.
Welcome to Upgoon. Yay. How are you doing today, Upgoon?
Yes. Normal, little sluggish. Had a job interview.
Oh, nice. For,
I
may I
had to
ask
get
what job?
through all that. An eikaiwa in Japan called Eon.
Ooh. Future endeavors, I see. Nice, nice. Cool.
Yes.
All right, let's get started then. Pretty much, where where were you from? Where were you born? Childhood, like stuff like that.
All right. The story of Upgoon.
Story of
The
Upgoon.
story of Upgoon began on the
Launched.
third day of the month of July of the 1995th year of the Common Era, in a hospital called Baptist Memorial Hospital on Claiborne Avenue in New Orleans, Louisiana, the United States of America.
Bum, 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 bum.
Um, so yeah, that's where I still. Well, I don't technically live in New Orleans now. I live south of New Orleans. It's like a half-hour drive into the city. I live in a place called Crown Point. It's a swamp town, village. It's not technically incorporated territory, but
like,
it's
like Shrek.
it like when you we don't have any trucks, but like yeah, there are trucks
No,
everywhere.
I mean
That's just
Shrek.
a
Like
thing.
Shrek. Like
Oh,
ogres.
like Shrek.
Like Shrek.
Yeah,
Like
it's
my swamp.
basically
Like
yeah. This is very much the definition of a swamp. There's a bayou flowing through our backyard, like literally. We had to fish alligators out of our pool before they get in our pool.
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Were there any hobbies and interests you had growing up?
Hobbies and interests. Well, growing up, I don't know. I've always been good at. Well, I mean, I play video games and shit. Who doesn't? I mean, that's just being a male American in your 20s, right?
Yeah, I get
But
that feeling.
I was always kind of clearly I'm not like a cool dude.
I think you're cool.
Um, that's just your opinion.
Everybody love
But
Upgoon. Everybody love Upgoon.
you guys are totally taking that catchphrase I made and you're just ruining it.
Ruin it? You mean improving it? Duh.
We're getting off track. Hobbies. I've always been into like languages and shit. I mean, I got a degree in my degree is in anthropology, but my focus within anthropology is linguistics, with linguistics being a subfield of anthropology. And I think a lot of people didn't really know that. But yeah, what was the first? I
And you
started
grad.
learning Latin in high school, so
Yeah.
I know
Nice.
Latin and ancient Greek. I didn't start learning Japanese till much longer after that.
Okay. You recently graduated, right? Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, I got my
Yeah.
degree. That was
Degree.
last month, like a month and a half ago
Congrats.
now.
Congrats on your piece of paper.
Thanks. It's very expensive paper.
Very, very expensive. All right. Start with the. Let's get on with the HD portion of your life. The Fukei.
Mm-hmm.
What everybody wants to hear. The story of how Upgoon Fukei came to be.
Upgoon Fukei thing. I
Upgoon the
remember
Fukei.
it was March 16th, 2014. Um, what was it? We had a crawfish boil earlier that day. If you don't know what a crawfish boil is, you need to Google it. It's basically like a barbecue, but just everything about a barbecue, but better.
Sounds
And
very
there's
New Orleans.
crawfish instead of just like burgers and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's there. It's excellent. It's absolutely it. But we had a crawfish boil. So that night I was, what was I? I was on my computer. I was in my bed on my laptop, right over there. Um, I'm gesturing, but you obviously can't see it. But yeah, I had my laptop open. I forget what I was doing. No. I was on 4chan, right? Because I'm the hacker known as 4chan secretly. Don't tell the government. But yeah, all the hacks, it was me.
Um,
Um, not really, but I was on 4chan, and so I see a thread. I don't know. I think it might have been Moa in the picture they linked, and the thread was thoughts on baby metal question mark, and it had a link to Gimme Chocolate, and I clicked the link and I opened the video, and I just sat there and I watched it. I didn't bother to check the rest of the thread. I didn't care what this guy thought about it, because as soon as I saw the video the first time, I was just like, "What is this? And how do I make my life about it?"
just
So I
instantly,
just,
you were just hooked, right?
yeah, I think it might have. Well, technically, I count the anniversary as the 17th because I'm almost sure this happened after midnight. But yeah, I was up until the sun literally came up, just watching any related video I could find. I saw like the SG stuff, but I didn't think to click on it because I didn't think it was related to baby metal at the time. It took me a while to figure out that it was. Um, and then after that, what happened after that? After that, I went back to New York because I lived in New York at the time, but I was here for spring break. It was for my spring break, but I still
You were in New
went to
York for
school
spring
in New
break?
York.
Oh, you went to school in New York.
I was in New Orleans for spring break. I was home,
Oh.
so I happened to discover them while I was at home.
Mm. Mm.
Then I went back to New York. I just kept watching all these baby metal videos. I had no intention of really getting that into it, honestly. I just thought that, oh, like I had found a cool new band. But then after a while, I realized that wasn't listening to any other music or like doing
Same.
anything else with my time. And I was like, I had started looking up the lyrics to learn all the lyrics to their songs. And what I eventually realized is that after learning enough of like the stuff like about it, I just started to casually pick up bits and pieces of like Japanese words, like things that I would see. Because having a background, having translated lots of stuff before this ever happened,
Mm.
I knew how to read a text in translation basically, and I knew how to identify elements and things.
Right.
So I just kind of started picking up words. And after that is when I started trying to teach myself Japanese. It wasn't until the next year that I enrolled in a class and started actually learning. But yeah, that whole summer, eventually, um baby metal kind of it got old for me, I guess. It exhausted all the novelty. So then I started following Sakura Gakuin. What it was actually is, in my search for all those related videos, I had stumbled upon Yumeni Mukate, and I listened to the song, and I didn't really like it at first. It didn't catch my attention. Honestly, the first time I listened to it, watched the video. The next thing I went and watched is I sat and I watched all the class tests which had been released up to that point,
Right.
which
Mm.
at that point it was only up to 2013. So I sat there and I loved them. I watched all of them. And I watched the Akogare no Furenzu drama with when Yui turns into Airi and Ayami and Ayaka switch places, and
Love
I thought it
those.
was great.
We need
I
more of those.
they need to make more of those,
They do need
right?
to make more of
Like,
those. They need to make more of those.
geez, Amuse plus, but like that's probably still my favorite Sakura Gakuin content to date.
It's up there.
Is
It's up there for me. Yeah.
Akogare no Furetsu. I still go back and watch that video every now and again. But the thing is, after watching enough of those videos, I felt like I had learned to know and recognize these people. And then I went back to the music, and I discovered that now I liked the music. Maybe not because of the music itself, but I just like listening to these specific people sing, I guess.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of how I fell down the rabbit hole. And
Do you have any certain members that that personally stood out to you as you were discovering them?
well, I don't claim favorites. I make a big point out of not claiming favorites.
Right.
I believe they all have appreciable qualities, and you have to be able to look
Mm-hmm.
for. I mean, they're all different. That's the point.
Yeah.
There are 28 of them, so that we get 28 unique experiences. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but there are people that I believe I have more in common with personally,
Mm-hmm.
with my personal, sort of avatar, usually being Renan. I
Mm-hmm.
gravitate towards Renan. She's the one I think just thinks most like me. Um, she, yeah, she was one of the first ones to actually like, I don't know, intrigue me, I guess. And it all came full
Mm-hmm.
circle when I
Yeah.
finally subbed her Toji
Yeah.
earlier this year. It was
Mm.
like fitting.
Yeah.
I was like, you've brought
Or
me this far.
magnum opus, as they say. Yeah. What do you think it is like? What do you think else about her? Like, made her more
She has that sort of
than.
thing about her where people think they know what she's like inside of her head, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
think people actually know what she's like inside of her head.
Mm-hmm.
She might, internally, she might be a totally different person from the way we understand her, and that's the thing. And I don't know what that internal person would be like, but I just think that what she and I have in common is that we get perceived one way when we actually think of ourselves being something entirely different. Like for me, as Upgoon, I don't know, I have kind of a persona I affect, I guess, where I'm just sort of wacky and I try not to take myself too seriously a long time. But in my head, I sound like fucking, gosh, I don't know, like
No, take your time.
I don't know how I would describe my internal monologue, but it's not at all like the person I am in my day-to-day life, And I feel like
Yeah.
Renon's a lot like that. I get that vibe from her. A lot of it's based on intuition. I tend to think more based on intuition than
Mm-hmm.
concrete things. Something intuitively tells me that Renon and I are somehow on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you have any maybe like a favorite song from SG or something that you can always go back to that you always
My
enjoy?
favorite SG song, probably Kiramiki no Kakera now. Well,
Mm.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not the one that has the most personal significance to me. The one that has the most personal significance to me is probably Sakura Hyakuni Nishu.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that one because I've been trying to learn, what do they call it, classical Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
which is all, the poetry of the Heian era,
Yeah.
Hyakune Nishu. I've read the whole Hyakune Nishu back and forth multiple times in the original and in English. And I want to say 20 of the poems memorized by now. I'm practicing because I want to be able to play Uta Garuta, the game where you slap the cards. Have you seen that? They did it. They did it when Ayami went on the show with whatever. There was like a
Oh,
variety
yeah,
show they went
yeah.
on, and Ayami challenged the host, and Ayami fucking schooled her.
Right.
And yeah, that's basically what I want to do. I I got an Utagaruta deck in Japan. I got the
Mm-hmm.
decks for the Hyaku no Nishu poems, but then I brought it back to America and realized I have no way of practicing because I don't even know anyone who can even read what's
Yeah.
on the cards. They can't even like read it out, pronounce it to me. Like, oh. So it ended up being not very
Yeah.
fruitful, but a
Yeah.
neat souvenir.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. You checked this on us a little bit before, but you said it seems like you're very obviously you translate some tweets.
Mm-hmm.
You translate a lot of Japanese. What motivated you to learn it, and how long have you been learning Japanese?
I started in the few months after I first discovered SG, just sort of by accident, the way I described it, and then I started taking classes. It was there was nothing motivating me to learn outside of SG. It was 100% that.
Hmm.
You know, before I discovered this, actually, I thought first I wanted to be a doctor. I was a what was I? It was like a chemistry major. Then I had
Hmm.
switched to what was it, theater, and then it wasn't until I found SG and started learning Japanese I realized my calling was linguistics. I
Definitely
still
is.
claim that yeah, SG is the reason that I found my calling. So I owe them that at least.
And how long have you been learning Japanese?
I first started taking the class when I really knew things. That would have been 2015, so 2 years now.
2 years. Huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was only when I formally started. I had already started that summer. I taught myself how to read like kana and all, because
Hmm.
that's easy.
Yeah.
Takes like half an hour.
You already know the katakana. Come on.
Mm.
Yeah. And you told me that you recently went to Japan last year, right? Or
Yeah, so I was there
wait,
for
yeah.
5 weeks this
Right.
summer.
Yeah. Want to tell us a little bit about that for all the people
Let's
hoping to go to
see.
Japan?
Oh yeah, I went to where like Kyoto. I was in Kyoto for 5 weeks studying abroad at Doshisha University.
Mhm.
We lived in a building the university owned, but it wasn't on the campus. It was a few blocks away in one of the quieter neighborhoods of Kyoto. If anyone has been to Kyoto, you know it's not at all similar to Tokyo. It's shades. It would be, I'd say Kyoto compared to Tokyo would be to me about approximately the way New Orleans is to New York.
Hmm.
So if you've been to all four of those cities, you know if my analogy holds up. But if not, then New York and Tokyo are cities that they just have so much shit in them, so much stuff that you
Yeah.
never run out of stuff to do, and there's
Hmm.
just this wild energy flying about everywhere. But Kyoto and New Orleans are different. They both have their own charm, their appeal. It might not be as um, maybe not
Flashy.
as many resources, not
Yeah.
as much like excitement, but more. It feels more sincere somehow.
I like New
It's easier
Orleans.
to, yeah, become attached to it in a way.
Yeah.
Kyoto was very much like that. Nice, quiet neighborhood I stayed in. Doshisha was pleasant. We met all the students. Oh, we had these students that we were friends with, and there was this. Of course, me being an Idol fan, I immediately started, singling out people
Yeah.
and saying I wanted to buy shirts with their face on it.
Yeah.
I didn't tell them this to their face, of course. That might have been a little off-putting, but I'm still banking on one of the people that I studied abroad with to make um like little plush dolls of this of one of our friends that was a student. He was adorable. He
Hmm.
came to karaoke with us, our little buddy.
Hmm.
Oh, and there was this girl, and she was adorable too, and we tried to set him up, and then it didn't work out. But it didn't work out, but it's still a dream. We totally shipped them. It was great. But yeah, Kyoto is, gosh, it was
Mm.
strange. I went partying a lot of the nights I was in Kyoto. They have clubs. I went to
Of
clubs.
course.
I don't know why I went to club. I only agreed to go to the clubs because I was already drunk enough by the time my friends told me, "Hey, you want to go to the club?" So it's not a good idea. Um,
Hmm.
well, I don't regret having done it, I guess. So I have the experience
Yeah.
having done it. I remember one of the clubs I went to. I got a drink, and and
Hmm.
almost immediately I drop it to the floor and it shatters, goes everywhere. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! And
I
then
mean,
this well-dressed Japanese man sitting
hmm.
in a little roped-off VIP section.
Hmm.
Um, he catches my attention. He says, "Hey," and he holds out to me a glass of champagne. And he says, "This is a present for you," because I had just dropped my drink. Me, I was pretty fucked up, so I was like, "Ooh, okay, I guess." He could have put something in it and I wouldn't have known. But
Pause,
I
pause, pause,
ended up
pause, pause,
fine,
pause,
thankfully.
pause, pause. Please, Fukei out there, please drink responsibly. All right, continue.
Yeah, don't take drinks from strangers. I was lucky. This was a normal person who was just trying to give me a drink because he felt bad that I had dropped mine.
Hmm.
But it's not everyone. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was I forget. And when I got drunk at these clubs in Japan, I would try to come up with a more ridiculous story about who I was every time. I
yeah.
started telling people I was English, and then I told them I was Australian. Then I started trying to convince people I was from like South Africa or something, but I don't even know what a South African accent sounds like. So
Isn't it just an English accent? Since
it's
yeah,
similar, but
yeah.
like they sound kind of like Australians, but with
Mm-hmm.
like a you can kind of tell they're different. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't know how to describe it. I should know how to describe it, having the linguistics background,
Yeah,
but
linguist.
yeah, English isn't my specialty.
It's a difficult language. I mean, and
It's easier when you grew up speaking it. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And you saw Torahime, right? With our
Right. Yeah.
lovely graduate
I went to a
Hannah.
few places in Japan. I didn't
Hmm.
just go to Kyoto.
Hmm.
I went to Osaka as well. I was there for a day. I spent a whole day wandering around Osaka. Oh my goodness, the loot haul from Osaka was just incredible. What was the best thing I found? The best thing I found in Osaka was one of the um one of the limited edition copies of Ayanto Shunkan,
Hmm.
Miami's first CD. Yeah,
Nice,
found it at a resale store for like 1,200 yen.
nice. It's very good. We miss you, Yami. Shout out to Yami. Please come back soon.
Okay, yeah, but I also went to Tokyo. I was there for a weekend. Stayed in kind of a sketch hotel, but is cheap. Um, I went to Tsurahime. Yeah, that whole day was nuts. The first day actually, I went to Akihabara. That was the day I had arrived. So I went to the
Mm.
hotel, dropped my stuff off, and then I was like, well, I only have, what is it, 40 hours in the city. I need to get going immediately. So I went straight to Akiba. Went to, it took me a while to locate the proper, what is it, the store that sells all the Sakura Gakuin crap.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Real.
spent about half an hour wandering confusedly through what turned out to be a satellite location
Yeah,
that
that's what
only
happened to me.
sold that only sold Hello Project, AKB, and Nogi stuff.
Pretty much everything except
And
Ishi.
it was like a side branch store. So
Yeah,
I had to go up to them and ask them, "Is there any Sakura Gakuin stuff?" And they pointed me to a different store, which is only like 2 blocks away. So I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I was just in the wrong one."
yeah.
And I got there. I walked into the store and I found the whole display case, and I just sat there. I just stood there and I stared at it, and I was like, "Thank the gods, they led me here." I knew I was right. Uh, and so, yeah, I left that store like 40,000 yen poorer. But I got a lot of great stuff. Oh my goodness. I got the signed Sue photo book, crown jewel of my
Same, man.
collection,
Same.
the holy grail, I think, of Sakura Gakuin items.
Yeah.
Um, and then the next day is when I went to Meguro. I went to an art museum, which was pretty neat. Then I bought my Karate deck in Tokyo. And then I went to Turahime. I was kind of in a rush to get there, and my shoes were hurting, I remember. So I got off the stop at Asakusa, which puts you out right in front of what do they call it? Kaminarimon?
Hmm.
The big gate with the lantern that says thunder on it. Thunder Gate is what that literally means,
Yeah.
Kaminarimon. Um so then I had to book it through Asakusa, so I didn't get to catch a lot of the cool stuff in Asakusa. But yeah, I made it there in time, and I got up the elevator. You have to ride an elevator to get there. If any of you who have gone to Tsurahime, I had pre-ordered my tickets, and gotten them at the 7-Eleven and all. And I get inside, and the hostess, I don't think she's a member of the troupe, so I don't remember her name, but she asked me, "Are you Mr. Burmaster?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I guess I'm the only white guy here tonight, right?" And so, yes, I was the only white guy there. It made me pretty easy to find, apparently, for Hiro-san, aka the GOAT, because I had messaged him
Yeah.
telling him that I was going to go to Terahime a week previous, and he had been too busy to answer me. But it was okay because he found me anyway. We had a pleasant evening. The show was cool. It was like a '60s medley. I was sitting there singing along to like half the songs under my breath, but in English, because they were singing them all in Japanese. And I was just sitting there thinking, I didn't know they had a Japanese translation of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. They do, as it turns out. That was one of the songs they sang. They sang, they might have sang Stand By Me in English. I
I
don't
remember
remember.
when I went. I remember them
But they
singing that.
did sing that song. And they opened with, what was it? West Side Story. They opened with
Yeah,
Cool from West Side Story. It was
I
needless to say
remember that.
cool.
When did you
Uh,
go?
so you watched the same show?
Wait, wait. What
I
did
I
what
saw them in June,
of last year?
June of
Yeah,
2016.
yeah. I was in April. I was there in April 2016. So
Oh, so the
we
show
might
is
have. Yeah,
probably
yeah.
it's
It's
probably the
like
same show we
it's
saw.
like a 6 month cycle for each show, right? They change it after that.
Mm. Yeah, they're running a different one now.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know what the one is now. They've written about it in the diaries. Yeah,
yeah.
but Hannah was there. I wasn't going to say anything to her. I wasn't going to do. I was just going to go watch the show and be on my merry way.
Hmm.
But there was this one part in the song where they were all dressed up as cats. Do you remember
Yes, I
this?
remember that part.
They had this silly song where they were in these stupid cat outfits, and Hannah came out the side because she wasn't in the first song. This was the first time she appeared. She was in
Hmm.
this ridiculous outfit, and they all come down from the stage and they offer you their hands to like high five them.
Hmm.
And so Hannah goes to Hero first because she recognized him and knew him, as presumably he's there almost every day.
Hmm.
And then I'm just sitting there being like, "Oh, that's very nice of her." And then Hero just points at me, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh, wait, no, 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 no!" And she walks over to me, and and uh, and she just bows and she holds up her hands, and I'm just like, "Okay, I guess." So I went for it. I was, yeah. Terahime was fucking excellent.
Yes, it
Like,
was. Hell yeah, it was.
oh my gosh, if you're a Fukei listening to this, which I don't know why you wouldn't be a Fukei listening to this, but like if you go to Japan and you don't see Terahime, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Like, what are you doing? What, like, it's so much
It is.
easier.
It is
It's way easier to get a ticket to Terahime than to get a ticket to an SG show.
definitely, definitely.
I could have gone to an SG show while I was there. I could have. I was there for the transfer and orientations, but I
Hmm.
didn't know how to do it. I didn't do it in time.
Yeah.
You have to register with AmuMoba or something and enter the lottery for pre-sale. Because by the time, and it doesn't even say this on the website, which just fucking baffles me,
Hmm.
is you go on the website to look up the information for when the tickets are going to be available. I was looking this up 2 months in advance so I could make sure I could get it in time because they announced the orientation dates immediately after the transfer and ceremony. So
Hmm.
like a month ahead of time, I was sitting there looking like, oh, when do tickets go on sale? So I looked at it and I looked at the date and it said they go on sale at noon on this date. And so I said, okay, I'll wait until then. And I
Hmm.
did. And I go to the store and I'm there at the exact minute the tickets go on sale, quote unquote, and they're all already sold out. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And you can't just buy the tickets. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's
Oh
unfortunate.
well. But
But
yes, Terahime was great. I would recommend it. I recommended it to my friends when I got back to Kyoto after the
me
trip.
too. Me too.
Even the people who weren't
Like
Fukei. Like, I mean,
even
honestly.
yeah, it's a hell of a show. It's
Like they're just a skilled theater troupe. I mean,
yeah.
it's like
I feel
it's like
like
going to a
they
show in New York. You
yeah.
know, if
I feel
you're
like
it,
yeah. I feel like they really give. I've seen like I've been to a lot of concerts, like, been a lot of like live shows, but I feel like Torahime is like up there in terms of like energy they give you in terms of the
yeah.
performances. Like they really give it their all, like each and every performance.
And the food was good too. I didn't
Yeah.
eat my dinner there. I had already eaten dinner, but I got what was it? It was a crepe, a matcha flavored crepe.
Yeah.
It was it was choice. It was excellent. I got to I got to I got to hang out with the head chef afterwards for a while. Hana was I don't know what she was doing. She was washing dishes.
She's
She
probably in the
didn't want
back.
to hang
Yeah.
out with us. It was all the
She's not
old
allowed.
people out at the
Yeah.
bar drinking.
She's not allowed to
I
be.
mean, I was the
Are there?
youngest one there. Yeah. But I smoked a cigarette with her supervisor though.
Nice.
Yeah, he was cool. The bartender guys were cool, Yuki and Akira. Um, my new Tarahime bias, aside from Hana, is Mayu. I was a big fan of Mayu.
I can't.
She's my other Tarahime
I can't.
favorite.
I can't remember any of them just because Hiro like introduced me to like all of them within like a 5 minute period.
Yeah, I
So,
got introduced to all of them through this.
so I can't really remember their names besides
I
Hana.
remember some of them. I remember the one from. There was one from Osaka. I remember because I made a joke to her. Well, it wasn't a joke. It was just she told me she was from Osaka, and I told her Mokarimaka, like as a joke, which is a thing they say in Osaka instead of konnichiwa. They say Mokarimaka, which means literally it means like "Are you making money?" or something, but it's like a traditional kind
Mm-hmm.
of greeting, and you're supposed to say
Right.
"Obochimachi desu" to reply.
Yeah. And you said you're trying to get a job in Japan. Like, what do you see like your
Hmm.
future? What do you see your
My
future being like?
future:
Yeah.
teach for a while.
Mm,
Um, I don't I don't claim to have any foresight beyond the next 2, maybe 3 years,
mm,
and I plan on being in Japan for all of that. With teaching experience, I might eventually be able to get a good job at like a university or something. Teaching, I might go to grad school. I might start working for like a company or something as a
mm,
consultant.
mm-hmm.
It depends on how I feel I would be most comfortable with after living there for a while, um, and how I can best, you know, work in the greater interest of SG.
Of
Because
course.
that's actually what
Always.
that's like really what I'm doing with my life. It might sound weird to other people, but like when I finished school and I started thinking, or when I was about to finish school and I started thinking to myself, okay, now what do I do with my life? I've ultimately made the decision. I am going to, whatever my skills are that I can contribute to Sakura Gakuin in the Fukei world, that's my job. That's my life. This is my
Right.
calling.
It's good to
So,
know.
for now it's teaching English.
Yeah.
Later, who knows? My
Yeah.
ultimate dream, my dream, like my
Dreams.
probably not gonna happen dream
Oh,
is
that's that.
writing a song that Sakura Gakuin performs.
Oh. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the hypothetical end goal.
Yeah. That's like if you've achieved everything else in life except that, it would be okay. Totally okay. But
Yeah, if I do that,
yeah.
then I'm off onto my
Yeah.
contingency
Yeah.
plans, my secondary ideas.
Yeah.
What I have on my retirement list so
Mm-hmm.
far.
Yeah.
All I really know I want to do with my entire life, other than working for SG, maybe not directly because they don't hire fans. Well, I wouldn't be able to work as a staff for SG. I might be able to get a job at Amuse Corporate, but that's for a later time to consider.
Yeah.
But other than that, I know I want to have children. I don't know if I want to get married, but I want to have children. I might adopt at some
Yay.
point. So that would be, yeah,
Cool.
the
All right.
plan. I don't know if I'm going to move back to America. I don't know if I want to spend any time in Europe. Japanese isn't the last language I want to learn. I have a big long list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, started learning some Chinese. I definitely want to learn Arabic at some point. I should probably learn Turkish. Probably learn Indonesian at some point. Um,
French
I
or
want to
Spanish is
learn.
pretty simple.
I want to learn a Bantu language from Africa. So either
Mm-hmm.
Zulu or Xhosa.
Mm-hmm.
With
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I can say the click right. The click languages are just I don't know if I'll ever be able to get the hang of those, but I gotta try, right?
Whatever. Yeah.
I've
All
also
right.
been looking into American languages that are cool, like Tlingit, which is something they speak in Canada
I did
and
not know that
Alaska.
existed.
But yeah, I'm rambling
All
now. It's
right.
related to
Cool.
Navajo.
Nice. All right. Good luck with those. And you have any other parting words for the Fukei that's watching this?
Parting words. Be a good Fukei. Don't spread hate. Um, I could say some more opinionated things, but I don't know um if our gracious head producer Continua is going to condone things I have to say about other things.
Yeah,
If you wanna
or
know what Upgoon really think, and the well, I'm working on putting it formally into writing. I did a little bit of it. I had that first 20-page essay, but I need to do more.
mm-hmm.
That's not done.
uh,
So
all
I'm gonna
right.
make more of those. And I'm always available for private message. I will answer any
Yeah.
question from a true and honest Fouquet.
Hey. Yep. See, his DMs
Yeah.
are open, ladies and gentlemen. His DMs are
Yeah,
open.
so you can go ahead and slide on in.
Slide him in DMs.
Slide in, yeah.
But if you want to ask a question live, stream date is February 11th, 2017. He'll be one of your hosts, along with
Yes.
Continua, Suti, and Tim. So
Spoilers.
check out check out check out the next Fukei Hangout, February 11th, 6 p.m. GMT. You can do the math of where your time zone is and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
Come hang out and
yes,
be a be a Fouquet.
yes,
At the
definitely.
Fouquet hangout. That's why we
All
call it
right,
that.
all right. Thanks for having it. Thanks for being here, Upgoon. Appreciate talking to
It's
you.
no problem. Upgoon always loved talking about Upgoon.
I can tell. Yeah. All right. Bye, Fukei. See you
Alright.
guys next time. Bye.
Bye bye.